Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me this afternoon is your Chief of Police, Chief Chad Brecklin from the Fitchburg Police Department. Chad, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you doing?
I am doing just fine, just fine. Appreciate you stopping by. I know you guys are certainly busy,
Yes.
as always, so we certainly appreciate your time.
Yes, always happy to join you, though.
Well, it's always nice to get caught up too. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see you day to day,
Yep.
so
Yep.
nice to always talk with you. We start with this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to talk a little bit about the flooding
Yeah.
and the response of police. You know, we heard
Mm-hmm.
from Western Dane County
Mm-hmm.
just how crucial public safety
Yeah.
was kind of forced into
Right.
some scary situations with cars being
Yep.
stranded and whatnot. What was the response here with Fitchburg?
Yeah, so obviously Fitchburg was also subjected to quite a bit of rain on Monday evening, and clearly we were way more fortunate than a lot of areas of Dane County. I mean, when you talk about 11, 12, 13 inches of rain, that's historic, as we've been seeing report on the news, and there's just nowhere for that amount of water to go. I don't know what the official total was here in Fitchburg, but clearly it was, I'm guesstimating, probably around 5 to 6 inches would be my guess. And that did create some problems for us, obviously. We had around 40 calls for service that were weather related on Monday evening. The most serious of which was a injury crash related to the weather, and we had several other crashes that were weather related. But the vast majority of our calls were obviously for flooded roadways and was requiring our staff to respond to those to help keep traffic out of those particular areas. And I obviously have to say that, in usual Fitchburg fashion, we work well with other departments. Joe Pulvermacher, the fire chief, is the city's emergency management director. And then the streets department, who is led at the street level by Mark Hodel on Monday night. We're in regular communication with one another. And as usual, the streets department, whenever there's a need for barricades or whatever the case may be, they are out. Whenever there's a need for the fire department, they are out asking what's needed. And then obviously our staff is always willing to step up whenever a situation hits the city of Fitchburg to do what we do. And we are in a very good community when you talk about public safety and the way that our departments work together, not just police and fire, but police, fire, EMS, public works. Across the board, I think that there is a lot of good cooperation in this city amongst its city departments, and I think the residents of Fitchburg should be proud that the resources that they provide us are not used territorially, so to speak, and that we are working together whenever situations arise to make sure that we are serving the citizens and residents and visitors of Fitchburg in the best way that we can.
Yeah, I like our staff here at City definitely between department to department definitely come together in these situations, whether it's from FACTv all the way down,
Yep.
you name it. We can work together really well.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to some of that barricading,
Yeah.
we've definitely heard stories throughout the flooding of even here in Fitchburg
Yep.
of when these areas are barricaded
Mm-hmm.
off. And certainly when these situations happen, there's just not enough. There may be not enough officers, not enough fire, not
Right.
enough EMS to block off some of
Right.
these areas. That's why we put these barricades in place. We're seeing people move those
Yeah.
barricades. What do
Well,
you say?
the barricades are there for a reason. They're there to protect the safety of the motoring public. And I was seeing news reports that says as little as 1 foot of water can move a vehicle, and that 2 feet of rushing water is going to likely move any vehicle, to include a pickup truck and an SUV. So the barricades are there for a reason. Water, for some reason, people tend to view that as being less dangerous than maybe snow or ice or other things like that. But again, if the barricades are there, please honor them. Do not move them. Do not drive around them. You are only putting yourself initially in harm's way by going through what may be a dangerous situation. And furthermore, if you're putting yourself in that dangerous situation, ultimately you're going to be putting a public safety person or personnel into a dangerous situation to help get you out of the situation that you put yourself in. So obviously rains like these do not happen very often, thankfully. But when they do, we do need people to make sure that, if there's barricades out, please honor those. They're there for a reason.
Absolutely. If it continues to happen over and over again, is this a ticketed
It could
offense?
be a citable offense for interference with traffic signs, signals, markings, those sorts of things. But obviously that isn't what we would be looking to do. But again, they're there for a reason. Please respect them. Don't drive around them. It's for your safety.
Absolutely. And then during this too, property damage and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Where should people? And I'm sorry, I threw you on the spot there.
Yeah, no,
Where
you're
should people
fine.
report that? But
Yeah. Yep.
if you do have property damage or your home, maybe you had to leave your home and
Yep.
stuff. You're afraid it's not safe. What
You should, yeah,
suggestions?
you should contact 211, and they are maintaining a list. You provide the information that they request via 211, and that information is then shared with Dane County Emergency Management, and ultimately will likely be shared with Fitchburg Emergency Management. Dane County has been declared in a state of emergency, so that could potentially allow for some funding to be made available either at the state and or federal level, depending upon the thresholds that are ultimately hit. So Fitchburg is in the process of collecting expenses at the local level from a government operations perspective, and then residents again are urged to contact 211 in order to report any issues related to the weather here, so that the county can further get as accurate of an estimate on the overall scope of the damage as possible.
Fantastic. Thank you for updating
Yeah,
us on that.
absolutely.
Real quick here, while we have you,
Mm-hmm.
just quickly wanted to mention that there has been a slight increase in thefts in auto.
Yeah, it seems I mentioned to you, it's like a broken record. Every time I show up, we're talking about either cars being stolen or something from a car being stolen. And again, within the last couple of weeks, we had a bit of a rash of cars being entered in the Lacey Road area here, south and southeast of the city hall. And it doesn't appear as though anything notable was taken, but clearly people were going through vehicles to determine what may have been in a vehicle. So again, we want to encourage people, don't put any valuables in your cars, keep your cars locked, and also keep your garage locked. And now I'm like continuing to rant on this one too, but keep the door from your garage to your house locked as well. I know that can be an inconvenience, but it's a wise crime prevention practice.
And certainly, if you see something, say something. I think
Yep.
that's
Give us a
huge. Any
call.
tips
Yep.
will help you guys
Yep.
work on this
Yep.
and try to solve this.
Definitely.
Fantastic. All right, that is your Chief of Police, Chad Brecklin. Thank you so much for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg. For some reason, I